What's up, Ranger Nation and Toku Nation? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Avataro Sentai DonBrothers. This is episode number 2 of season 49. So, before we go and get into this review, Ranger Nation and Toku Nation, if you guys are watching this video or any other on this channel and are not subscribed to the channel, I need you guys to do me a huge favor, right? That favor is you guys need to subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn your post notifications on, and share the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and discuss Avataro Sentai DonBrothers, episode number 2, shall we? Alright, so we open up the episode and we see as Oni's sister, aka Kitoka, she is now having to work in this, cafe, right? And the people are recognizing her as, the one who plagiarized, right? Although she didn't plagiarize. I don't believe she plagiarized. I'm really curious to see how that storyline plays out about the plagiarism thing, right? Was it as, after getting those glasses, was it a setup? I'm really interested and curious to see where that storyline goes, right? So like I said, she's working in this cafe, right? So she goes up to her boss, and her boss is Kaido from, Zenkaiger, right? And I was like, oh, okay. So she's still on this whole thing about finding Momotaro, right? You guys remember the guy in the other dimension told her to find Momotaro and pledge loyalty to him, right? So you guys remember she went up to the one guy that she thought was Momotaro. Turned out he wasn't Momotaro, right? So that's where she's at now. She's just still thinking that she needs to find Momotaro, right? Now we do see him, and he's out, he's delivering, right? And his whole thing is making bonds with people, right? Remember, he made a bond with the guy last week who was having issues passing the bar exam, right? Well, this week he's doing the same thing again. He's meeting someone and he's having a bond with them, right? It's funny. It's funny because he's delivering his packages, but he's also delivering something else to the person as well, right? So this week, the person that he's delivering to, he has his arm in a sling, right? Because he's dislocated his shoulder. Now, he takes the guy's arm and he pops it back in place. I was like, oh, man, I know that shit had to hurt when he just popped that man's, the man's arm was dislocated. And he popped it back in place, right? Now, we do find out that this guy is, we do find out who this guy actually is. So this guy is actually, is it Kiji brother? Yes, this is Kiji brother that we're seeing, right? So we see how Kiji brother got his powers. So kind of like what happened with Oni's sister when she was looking at her phone and those glasses came up out of the screen and, attached to her face. Well, the thing with Kiji brother is he has on his prescription glasses, so they had to knock off his prescription glasses in order to attach to his face, right? So then we also see how he dislocated his shoulder. We also see that his bike was stolen. So it's like it is interesting. I just thought about that, right? Let's just put 2 and 2 together. When these glasses do it, I guess I now see what Oni's sister was saying last week, right? When you think about it, is this good and bad, right? Because these glasses appear out of nowhere and then bad stuff starts happening to them, right? Oni's sister got accused of plagiarism, and then Kiji brother, when the glasses appeared to him, he his shoulder got dislocated, right? His bike was stolen, and we saw him at work and he was doing a pitch to some, I guess, his, partners or whatnot, right? And the pitch was going absolutely nowhere. So I'm like, wow. So is that a cause and effect, right? So we also find out that he's been married for about 3 months, right? So we see him and his wife. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pause here and I'm going to move forward. All right, you guys. So then we see Momotaro, right? So he's having lunch with some of his teammates, and he has a thing of being very, very honest, right? I noticed that because one of the guys, like, I'll basically duel you, not duel, but, like rock, paper, scissors him for a side, right? So I don't know if he knows how to play rock, paper, scissors or not, right? It's rock, paper, scissors, right? Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, rock, paper, scissors. like that. But he is telling the person what. But at one point, he had his hand in a ball, right, like for a rock. But the one guy I noticed, he said scissors, and I'm like, but you win. But I was just like, he's very honest. And then there's a woman. Her name is, what is her name? Sanai, right? Sanai. And they were, I don't, again, like I said, he's honest. He's brutally honest, right? So they were, boosting her head up, telling her how good she looked, how young she looked, right? So she looks over to him and she says, how old do I look? He says, 68. I was like, damn, not 68. And even she was like, damn, I didn't expect you to be that honest. I was like, shit, I mean, you asked him, right? And he straight up told you, right? So then she goes to the bathroom and she wants to be younger. Then we see this monster spirit outside of the window at the bathroom where she is. I'm like, oh, so that monster spirit is going to attach to her. Okay, cool. So then we move back over to the cafe, right? So there's this guy there, and he has, I guess, ate his food, got his coffee and whatnot, right? So Kitoka, she is, his waitress, right? So then he comes and tells her, I ain't got no money. I was like, wow, you sat here, you ate all this shit and probably drank hella coffee, and then at the end of it, you wait and tell me you ain't got no money? I'm about to beat the brakes off of you, like literally and figuratively. I'm about to beat the hell out of you, right? So he wants to recite a haiku to her, right? So her boss is like, go for it. I'm like, a haiku? What the hell is a haiku gonna do for somebody? A haiku? Absolutely not. So then, you guys, so she look on her phone again, right? And then that same guy from the previous episode that told her to find Momotaro and pledge loyalty to him, he appears to her once again. He tells her that Momotaro will appear tomorrow at 3 p.m. and he gave her the exact location where he'll be. And then she asked the guy that appeared on her phone, she said, so if I find him, will I get back everything that I lost? And and I'm gonna talk about this in just actually, let's see. I'm gonna talk about it in just a minute because I just thought about something when I was talking about Kiji brother earlier. I thought about something. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause right here and I'm gonna keep going, you guys. So Sanai, she comes back, right? She's sitting with the guys and her appearance has definitely changed, right? She looks a little bit. She looks younger than what she did before, right? So she once again asks Momotaro, how old do I look? Once again, he says 68. And she's like, oh, damn it. Like, I gotta be younger. I gotta be younger, right? So then we see him and he goes out and he's delivering a package, right? So the guy that he's delivering the package to, he shows up to his place, right? And then the police show up to arrest him, right? So he takes off running. And Momotaro's like, yeah, with him, I ain't developed no bond with him, right? So then at one point, the guy's running from the cops. He put on his glasses, right? And then he opens this dimensional door and he walks through it. I was like, wow, that was interesting, right? Very interesting. So then we see Katoka. So she is at the spot where she was told to meet Momotaro at 3 p.m. the next day, right? Well, she met Momotaro. He definitely passed by her, but she wasn't paying any attention to him. There was another guy that walked up, and she thinks that that's Momotaro. I'm like, it's like she looks for flashy people, right? I guess. I don't know what I really don't know what she is looking for when it comes to Momotaro, right? Because he's passed her more than once. And each time he's passed her, she never really pays him much attention. Because even in last week's episode, she says, yeah, nah, that can't be him. It goes to the age-old saying, never judge a book by its cover, right? And that's exactly what she's doing. She's looking at these people who exude, I don't know what they exude to her, but she's looking at people who I guess fit a particular mold for her. and she's always wrong in every instance when it comes to it, right? Because last week she thought who Momotaro was one guy. She got kicked. Same thing happened in this episode. She got kicked again. I'm just like, and I don't know why she didn't think it, because she literally bumped into Momotaro, and I don't know why she didn't think, I've ran into you. This is now the second time I run into you. Are you Momotaro? It's not clicking in her brain. All right, so she follows in behind the guy that she thinks is Momotaro, right? But then she bumps into Sanai, right? So Sanai freaks out after she calls her ma'am, and she's like, she got to get younger. So then she gets even younger than what she already looks like. And I'm like, wow. She finds Momotaro once again, and she says, how old do I look? He once again says 68. 68, right? He says 68. I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll move on. I do have a question. Well, actually, I do. I want to talk about it now. 68, right? 68 is not. I mean, some people think that 68 is old, but it's not. I mean, it ain't. You're only as old as you feel on the inside, right? You're only as old as you allow yourself to feel. If you feel young on the inside, if you feel like you can still do what a 20, 30, even a teenager can do, then you're young, right? You're only as old as you allow yourself to feel. And that's just where my personal viewpoint is. You're only as young as you're only as old as you allow yourself to feel, right? But she freaks out after being called ma'am. Now, I don't take the whole ma'am and sir thing too seriously, right? Because people call me sir, and I'm like, well, damn. I'll say, you know, you don't have to call me sir because I'm not that old. I'm not that old, right? But I mean, I get it as out of a respect thing, right? So she freaked out after being called ma'am, and she turned into the monster form, right? So then we see, as you know, both the two guys, they transform into they transform, right? And then they start battling with this monster, right? So it's interesting, right? That they're evil, but they battle with the monsters, right? So it's really interesting how they transform into monsters, and they transform into their figure, their I don't even know what they're called, but they transform and they battle with the monsters, right? So also, you know, Oni's sister, she transforms as well, and then she's joined by Inu brother and Kiji brother, right? Now, I didn't know that they could transform into past Sentai teams. Really cool, right? Now, their transformations is a lot different from what Gokaiger was, because Gokaiger, they could switch, you know, Pink Ranger could become a Black Ranger from, I'm going to say from the US version, like Pink Ranger could become RPM Black or RPM Blue or Samurai Green, stuff like that, right? But with this one, they literally transform into, so they have their avatar changer, they do it and they transform, because Inu brother, he transformed into Ryuso Black, aka Dino Fury Black Ranger, and he also Kiji brother, he transformed into Ryuso Pink, aka Dino Fury Pink. And also, with him transforming into Ryuso Pink, he had her skirt on. I was like, oh wow, that is badass that he has her fucking skirt on. I dig that, right? I do have so many questions when it comes to Kiji brother and Inu brother. The CGI. It's the CGI for me, right? Because in certain scenes you see them in CGI form, but then in certain scenes you see them in actual suit form, right? So it's just really interesting to see it, right? You can see an actual suit, but then you can see the CGI. I'm just kind of confused by it just a little bit. But it's not that big. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm just kind of confused why they did CGI and actual suit. Just kind of interesting, right? So then Momotaro, he eventually joins the battle as well, right? So they end up defeating the monster that is in the form of Sanai, right? Then this, I like how when they have their big mecha fight, that it's in a different dimension. I like that, right? But in this episode, it was a train. I was like, wow, it's a train. But Momotaro, he eventually defeated it, right? He defeated it, and everything has now returned back to normal. So it's interesting because remember in last week's episode that Oni's sister, the guy that she knew, he was destroyed, right? So he didn't return back to normal. So I do question that, like, what does it take for them to return back to normal? But that's pretty much it. Now, now with Sanai and with Momotaro, right? She asked him once again how old does she look, right? He told her she looks 68, but he also told her she looks very happy. And I think that's the key, right? Age ain't nothing but a number. Shout out to my one of my favorite singers, Aaliyah, who rest in peace to her. Age ain't nothing but a number, right? And like I just said earlier in a review, you're only as old as you make yourself, right? You're only as old as you make yourself, and you're only as old as you feel. If you feel, young and virile, then that's what it is, right? But that's the episode, you guys. Overall, a great second episode. I'm really enjoying so far, Don Brothers. I'm going to definitely stick it out, right? I know I started Sentai reviewing it and I don't finish it, but my goal is to definitely see it through. The only thing with Sentai is, do they ever take any breaks? Because, 40 to 50 episodes, do they ever take any hiatuses, right? A hiatus, a 2-week break, a 3-week break, a 1-week break. Do they take any breaks, you guys? Please let me know that in the comments section, because I've never really just gone through a whole entire Sentai season. But like I said before, leave your comments in the comment section below, you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Please turn on your notifications. Share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, you guys. Wear a mask. Socially distance. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys on Saturday for the episode 3 of Power Rangers Dino Fury. Bye, guys.